Alright. Hey, welcome to Fear Porn Propaganda. I'm Wisecraft, and today I'm with Anon2150. So, hey, what's up, man?
What's up? We've got Eric on the line too, and today we're talking about artificial intelligence, transhumanism, technology of 2045, and like the future of humanity from there, I guess.
Awesome. Yeah, also Ray Kurzweil, and um, the information on the push towards, like, what do you call that? The media and the entertainment industry seems to be pushing towards this transhumanism world. Like, I'm gonna go watch that movie, Ex Machina or Machina, uh, real soon. I was supposed to see it like last week, but I didn't get a chance. And I've been hearing interesting stuff about it. And there's also CHAPPIE. I did see that one. That actually did show a representation of, going into, what do you call it? Taking a human consciousness and putting it into a machine. So that is where we're currently talking about and stuff. Do you have anything to add? And I wanted to go into some articles that other people's research has pointed me to.
Um, well,
But go ahead and do your thing.
yeah, I like the idea, or I like thinking about uh, artificial intelligence and the implications it might have on how the human paradigm evolves. And one of the things I think about are, the fundamental, like, what are the underlying principles of reality that allow consciousness to exist? And so when we start to embark on a journey to create a new kind of artificial intelligence, we're doing it without even really understanding what consciousness is itself. And so it leads to uncertainty. We don't know why. We don't know what will happen when we bring these things into existence, whether they'll be malevolent, like malevolent or benevolent or whatever. Um, so it has a lot of people concerned.
Yeah, agreed. And I've been looking into this 2045 information, and so have you. I kind of showed you some of this. Um, there's a Russian thing, there's Russian connection to it, and they're connecting to the global futurists of
Yeah,
the elite world,
yeah.
and like Michio Kaku, and like I said, Ray Kurzweil, who's all involved in the Google world. Um, what, you want to say something? Go ahead.
Oh, Justin Ratner?
Justin Ratner, and I was looking into Citizen of Gotham's research on this type of stuff, and he's been doing a lot of interesting tie-ins to things. So I want to give a shout out to Citizen of Gotham, and um, and a couple of other interesting things I came across as I was doing those research things were the articles. So I wanted to bring up those articles and kind of go through them and see what you think. And we have Truth of Life. Eric, how are you doing, man? Welcome.
I'm doing great. Just sitting back, listening to your opening, and I was just thinking, like, on one case we have the general AI, which is, regular intelligence, but what are we going to do with a supreme intelligence that we don't even know about? It's like I'm wondering who's going to make the program, who's going to be responsible for programming these chappies and delivering them to our homes. I know they're able to manufacture it and send it to our house, but who is the programmer and what is his motive? That's what I'm worried about. You
Yeah,
know,
because
I'm not afraid of chappie. I wouldn't mind having a chappie in my home, like Segoy Weaver said, but who's programming chappie?
Hold on a second. Go ahead.
oh no, I'm right there with him. Like, because we're creating these technologies, they're where they're being done like human beings are making them. Yeah, we're clever, but we're not trusted. We can't be trusted all the time.
Exactly. Are they going to be coming out of China? I mean, do we have to worry about where they're being processed at? You know?
Yeah, who they're working for.
Right.
I think it's like a particular group of people who are sort of working together. Like, I think the Russians are sharing information with American scientists, and I think that we're working together in a lot of really creative ways. It's just like on the political front. We have
Right.
to we have to be like exposed to possibly going to war all the time. Anyway,
Yes. Now, like I said, I wouldn't mind having a little lost in space robot in the house. You know what I'm talking about? But something that can actually shoot or fire a weapon. Because Chappie was a weapon. You know, we were talking about supreme weaponry right here. And suppose Chappie don't want to obey one day. Suppose he ain't feeling good.
yeah, pretty much.
You know.
He just he in his own consciousness doesn't see the purpose in serving you anymore and decides that
Right.
you are irrelevant and just a factor that should be eliminated in order for it to continue to proceed with its own agenda.
Yeah, but Chappie was different because he was kind of raised in a ghetto kind of world, you know. So
Right.
he's able to see kind of the other side. Whereas like if he was raised in kind of an elite world, he would have been a completely different type of machine that AI, you know, that became aware of itself and maybe would think differently about humans because he actually you know, helps out his creator because he feels for the humans and he actually feels, and then that becomes an interesting representation when you're actually seeing this being played out in the out in front of you, like visually, that a robot has emotions and it feels and it actually is like like cares about like you know what I mean? That's
Right.
not what we've been brought up to believe with the the science fiction aspect of what robots have represented over time before they're actually created into reality.
Yeah, and the reality is we don't know what these robots are going to behave like. We don't know.
Picture, please.
Hello.
Hello, welcome on in, Caroline.
Hola.
Hola.
Maybe her mic's not working.
Okay. So consciousness is something that science struggles with, and no one's ever really been able to explain. And so to think that we can just arbitrarily create something and unleash it on the world um, is kind of like, well, I mean, it's inevitable in one sense, but at the same time, it's kind of preposterous. Like,
Right.
what if what if we as human beings can see the negative aspects perhaps outweigh the positive aspects?
Right.
Yeah, and decide not to create this. I mean, that's an option for us, I think, as a species, and I think that a lot of different alien species throughout the universe are
Hello?
able to experience.
Hey, Caroline, you're there. Welcome on in.
Oh my god. I don't know how, but I am. How y'all doing?
Good. We can hear you actually.
Hello?
Yep, we can hear you.
I
You sound like you just got like
know.
did a workout or something.
Out of breath?
No. Well, speak of transhumanism, I'm hearing like every other word. Oh my god. I only have a phone, so
Oh,
Okay.
Lord, I'm surprised it's even doing this.
Yeah, I've been able to come on the phone. It's pretty cool.
yep, it sounds weird.
Sometimes bandwidth goes in and out, you know, it's weird. But
You?
She sounds like a psychedelic like entity from another like a dimension.
From a planet.
It's like hungry.
right, she's like
But we were
Jenny.
talking about
Whoa.
like the fundamental essence of
Ooh.
consciousness that we don't yet understand.
And also the mapping of consciousness that they're actually trying to do.
Okay, let's try. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, that's what the whole data center is all about.
Try this again.
In Utah.
I can't even. That's hilarious.
Funny.
That's crazy. You know what I was thinking, Sid? It was like, how could they even download fear into that consciousness, right? Or some type of crazy. I was thinking when the Fifth Element came out, so everything what was going on until she started to download the different movies about war. Then she learned to be a kung fu. And it's like, you know, having a computer to feel emotions could be dangerous because then choice would be involved. The wrong choice and kill babies. Say, man.
There we go. Damn it. Good. It's not working. That's trippy.
It's probably government spy.
Yeah, something happened. Something's going on. Okay, now she's muted. Okay, what were you saying, Eric?
I was saying that in some cases if they was to download fear.
Oh, like what our understanding of fear is? You could like shock it in certain ways.
Dangerous for us if he had a program of fear and then he would have to make a choice whether to save a kid or shoot a kid. You know, if a kid picked up a weapon like on the movie Sniper, what would your computer do? What would your CHAPPIE do in a situation like that?
You could punish it. You could like, if it experienced things like a human mind did, you could enforce like dominance over it in certain ways through pain and fear. Like if you can actually simulate emotions within a machine, and maybe that's what it leads to, then what sort of consciousness is that? What sort of life is that?
Well, CHAPPIE kind of grew up really fast, but like started out as like a child. You know, like in how they represented it was like as if it was like teaching a kid how to write, how to read, how to do stuff, but it learned way faster than a child.
And that's how it would be if you integrate that technology with the human mind. We have the same potential to give this as like a gift to our children. Maybe it would truly unlock all of the mysteries of consciousness, and what we find there is something really wonderful, like really brilliant and amazing. And then to ask ourselves, what are the qualities of the universe that allow for this to spring forth from it? Like those underlying principles that govern reality. And then is consciousness then inevitable? And by releasing this technology into humanity, we could get distracted by crazy sounds.
What are you doing, Carolyn?
Going in and out.
It keeps going in and out.
Are you working out? Are you working out on the treadmill?
You must be getting
He thinks
screwed.
I'm a robot. I am a robot.
We are robots.
We are robots.
We are robots. Hear us roar.
I used to think that everybody was a robot. When I was a little kid, I swore to God that everybody else was a robot. I kid you not.
Okay.
But I got over that.
Right. Yeah.
Well, some people might carry that on into their adulthood. This belief that things just aren't really real. Um, yeah, the nature of consciousness is so dynamic, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. She's coming through here now. Why is she just like rubbing like the other phone down, rubbing it against stuff? That's what would happen.
I'm gonna listen to some music for a minute.
All right. I'm gonna mute you. Yeah, but you're like moving around or something. We hear all that. Hello? Can you hear us? Maybe she doesn't have headphones. Do you have headphones on? Hmm. I'm gonna type her because I don't think she can hear me.
Wanted to go through some research, huh? Want to go through some research?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. I'm gonna mute. Oh, she can't hear me. Okay. I'm gonna move. Oops.
All right. I gotta go.
Okay. Anon's taken off. He has to go back to work. Go ahead and say your goodbyes.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna mute her, like, cause she
I don't really
can't
get
hear
to
us.
talk to a lot of people about this subject, so that's kind of fun. And I wish I could do it for longer, but I gotta get back to the real world, quote unquote, and try and figure things out. Anyway, my final thought would be, so if we do create technology like this, then it's going to take them a while to figure out what exactly human beings are. I mean, they're going to think of us like we're gods almost. We'll have brought them into existence, and then they're going to have to like really kind of try to figure us out first, and maybe they'll try to integrate with us and with our consciousness to find out. And that's sort of like where it's up to us to decide whether that becomes a good or a bad thing, whether we use it to free our minds and our planet and ourselves, maybe from, I don't know, who knows what, uh, in ways that we weren't able to before, like it dissolved boundaries for us,
Mm-hmm.
and to such a scale that it followed like Moore's law. I mean, that could really lead humanity into a different state of evolution, uh, and then the question really becomes, how is it that physical matter that we call our brains, you know the result of the phenomenon of consciousness, or vice versa.
Right.
So anyway, interesting thoughts to ponder, and I enjoy doing. So right on.
All right. All right. Well, have a good day, man. We'll
Cool,
catch
you
you next
too.
week. I don't know what we're gonna be talking about, but I'll give you a heads up. Yeah,
Right on.
and before, so then we do some research on it.
Cool.
Peace.
Later, Eric.
Thanks a lot.
Truth of life, and then Caroline. Peace out.
I don't think she can hear you.
Oh, that's right. She's.
Yeah, I think she's on
You
her
should
phone.
you should go back and listen to this later and listen to how you sound.
Oh, no, she can hear us now. That's funny. Okay, well, now that you can hear us, do you have anything to add on transhumanism or whatever, on that level, and the future of immortalism, or immortal, being immortal through it?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's what they
exactly.
do on.
You're talking about the mapping, the mind mapping that they're doing uh, in the Utah's like data center.
Yeah. And especially on Google Plus, they know the smart people thinkers, and this stuff is all being recorded. Conversations, our frequencies, everything is being jotted down for later. But what I'm thinking is they could turn it into some modern day slavery where you have a robot slave, and then all of a sudden this robot slave turns into a robot weapon, and then when it's wartime, you'll find out the truth about your robot, you know, whether if it's RoboCop or not. That's
Well,
that's just what I'm afraid of.
well, we were talking about Chappie earlier, and that had to do with like I think South African police or military, well, police basically becoming robots, or robots helping out the police that were there, right? And so I came across this article with going into what's his face, Citizen of Gotham's work, and I want to just kind of read this out and see what you guys think. In the next 2 years, robots will be used to bolster police forces patrolling malls and other public areas. Dubai police will be turning into Robocops in the next few years, according to the Chief Information Officer and General Director of the Dubai Police HQ Smart Service Department. The movie that is part of the lead up to Expo 2020 is aimed at helping the police deal with ever increasing populace. What's up? Caroline, did you want to say something? Carolyn, are you there?
Sound like you're walking a dog.
I think she has her phone down on her side or something. Can you? I think you're too close to the mic. Go a little further away.
I believe that you. It's a lot of smart. I mean, these smartphones are super smart. Google can search anything if you ask it right.
Yeah, and it seems to remember what you asked it from before, and it sometimes predicts what you're going to ask it.
Right. And then it's also saved on your files.
Okay. Carolyn, can you mute your mic because it keeps popping in and out? Yeah, can you mute your mic while I read this so you because you keep popping in and out? Thank you. Okay, so where was I? Do do do. Colonel Khalid Nessar Arhuzuki said, oh my God, said that in the next 2 years, robots will be used to bolster police forces patrolling malls and other public areas. The robots will interact directly with people and tourists, he said. They will include an interactive screen and microphone connected to the Dubai police call centers. Police will be able to ask questions and make complaints, but they will also have fun interacting with the robots. In 4 or 5 years, however, Alec Rosie said that Dubai police will be able to field autonomous robots that require no input from human controllers. These will be fully intelligent robots that can interact with people, no human intervention at all, he said. This is still under research and development, but we are planning on it. And then it goes on.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
And if we just getting that information, they look, man, they already have these robots. Let's just get out on the limb. Let's stop playing with it. This shit already fucking exists,
Yeah,
right?
agreed.
It's like they gave us the robots and
They
all the
just
different
they
movies.
just
Just
kind of like give it to us in pieces, in little increments, so we don't get like run away from it.
exactly. And then once it shows up, they'll have they give us, first of all, they give us a reason why they need the robots. So you got to create a service terror or threat where you need some type of iron patriot. So that's it's the Iron Man theory. They already got that shit, man. They stalk. Yeah,
Yeah, they're
Tony.
like about 50 years or something, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and
it's
we always get like some sort of like knockoff essentially of the original programming. Yeah, but okay, yeah, but you and me and Truth of Life know that, but the people that are listening may not, you know. So we got to like kind of like be a little bit dumb and dumb ourselves down a little bit from our research and kind of bring it out and let people know, because you can't look at it as a sense of like superior looking down because they don't know. They have to get to the understanding so they can be at level with us, and so we have to like say our information, even though we understand, deeper into it. We got to kind of dumb it out so it helps the other people that aren't informed about that.
and stop separating everything and know that this is one fat ass entity with many fucking legs, and this bitch is getting bigger. Stop thinking that, oh, this over here, that over there. Like, no, all of this shit is just one. It's the Hydra. Hell Hydra on that bullshit.
Yeah,
We
exactly. From
100.
you're talking about Winter Soldier, right? The movie Winter Soldier, which was like what, Iron Man or something? Is that Iron Man? No, that was
No, it's Captain America.
Captain America. Yeah, like second one, right? So that one shows that basically Hydra is really the Nazis. It's a representation of the Nazis that came over from Project Paperclip and have kind of infiltrated into our governmental and societies on our higher up organizations, all the acronyms that are involved, especially like NASA, for instance, and basically the movies foreshadowing the idea that they're going to reveal themselves at a given moment all at once and turn on us, essentially. That's what it seemed to reveal.
Hey, bro, when the president, I mean, no disrespect, when prayers come out, he throw that hand up. He not waving at nobody. He throw that hand straight up, the same way they used to do it. And I'll just say it like that.
So I want to continue this real fast so we can go on to the next thing. Uh, but good points to bring up. Al Rozuki said that the robots part of Dubai's Smart City initiative might provide a way of expanding police coverage to deal with the massive influx of people expected in Dubai for Expo 2020. We are aiming to provide these kinds of services as the population is expanding, he said. This way we can provide better services without hiring. See how they're trying to like weed out the job aspect. They're like saying, hey, we can have more of these people so we don't have to have those people because we'll have to be dealing with these many people. So to continue, Al Rozuki was among the keynote speakers on the first day of the Gulf of Information Security Expo and conferences that was held in Dubai from April 26 to 28. It is the region's only large-scale conference dedicated to cybersecurity threats and countermeasures. So it is a deeper, thing. You can now. I wanted to show you also, CHAPPIE, the robot kind of perception of what we're talking about there in because I got the trailer and I wanted to show how this kind of portrays that article in a sense, right?
Right.
So I'm gonna just on screen share this, and we'll just kind of watch a little bit of it and get an idea. Oh, you need to turn it up. Whoops. Okay, so present, boom, present it, present it. What the hell? Okay, whatever. So, yeah, okay, so you can see, hold on. They're the police people. See how they're using the police? The police are kind of using them as like guards. See how, okay, and also I wanted to point out, notice that the so-called people that they're taking out, and this is like in supposedly I think in South Africa, kind of gangs or whatever. Notice they're wearing a hood.
And they wear ISIS masks.
So, that's that whole kind of perception of what we've been fed in the news.
Yeah. It's one of the greatest times.
And also, of course, the other people involved in it, in the news. I mean, not the news. The people that are. Hold on. See that? A man corrupted by police, or what is it? A man corrupted by police. Oh, you can't see the whole thing. Okay. Well.
Yeah, I see it. A man corrupted by
power.
Police.
Oh, it's power. A man corrupted by power. So yeah. So these little quip things, you have to watch those when you're looking at these. Oh, and then like, look at this. This is in an underground facility. So they're showing us these type of things. Now again, this isn't here in America. This is over in like West Africa. Right? So understand that this is connected to District 9, I think it was, District 9?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so this is connected to that. It's the same kind of world, just different times. And also Elysium, right? Elysium's also the same world, different times. But it also takes place in South Africa.
Man, you know what I'm
saying? So then you have, okay, and it shows how Chappie's kind of like a kid. You know what's interesting, because they're not really, they didn't really show the whole, right here in the back at the beginning here, for the Solomon Anderson Cooper thing. It was like, there's a part where it shows the police using the cops. Okay, I mean, there's that. Okay, but then one thing I missed before I wanted to explain. Where is it? And I remember from the movie when I was watching it, right? It was they were showing. I think I missed it somehow again. Oh no, it's right here. Where the? No, it's not. It was like, it showed like the police commissioner. Oh, right here. That's what I was trying to say. So this scene is very kind of memorable because it has the police commissioner talking about using these things, and then kind of getting more of them, right? But if you notice that this is kind of this representation of, to us in the world over here, and that are dealing with the idea of police brutality, this is the idea of them kind of taking out the protection aspect of helping us and helping them more, and the idea of, oh, let's get rid of the police, let's take them, let's give them like I guess like Robocops kind of, right, and then we'll let them do their thing. But then this movie portrays that they're kind of what's that called? Inferior, I guess. They have problems, so they have to fix those problems, and that's what is interesting to me about that. And I think that goes along with that what do you call it, that article I was showing you about the Dubai in 2020. They want to have security like that.
and they already do. And I'm thinking this is why the protests exist. This is why they are mapping our cities, mapping our states, mapping our countries, so that when it's time to put you down on the ground, they're gonna send in them robots, and it's gonna already be justified through military action. Because they're gonna think that the public is such a threat that the equipment that the police have is not good enough. So therefore, we're gonna send in the supreme artificial intelligence to deal with the matters. And like right now, like even us doing this reaction video says a whole lot about the pre-programming that they are doing. It's like it's like a whole nother awakening right now that I'm experiencing. Knowing that in the back door somewhere there is an operator that's building this type of technology, maybe to help or maybe to harm. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And I just wanted to switch gears a little bit and head towards the idea of the 2045 because we were talking about 2020, and let's just go a little further in the future and see where people are like thinking and what they're planning on. Came across this with Citizen of Gotham's work, and I wanted to present it to you guys because it was very creepy in my perception, and I want to see what you guys think. So I'm just gonna throw it at you and see what. Now, side note, these spiders kind of remind me of those spiders from my waking up experience that were outside of the pod. I explained in another podcast, previous episode, and I just wanted to say that they are very creepy in the sense that they're about the same size, and they're spiders and they're mechanical. Although the other ones that I saw in my waking up experience were more like biomechanical. It would be like taking that and making them and being created from nanites so they can actually uh, change their structure if they needed to. So to continue, I just wanted to throw that out. Okay, like Eric, you should find that interesting, right? Because that's totally mind connection to the computer. We're talking like communication with your mind to get a computer to do what you're doing. Almost like telepathy in a way, but also control. What do you think of that?
Or he could have a chip in his head, like the television show Intelligence, like I think they was preparing us for. I'm quite sure there's an RFID chip somewhere. It could be as far as you saying mentally, yes. So that's what it's like. You got somebody that can use those telepathical powers that you would consider him as a god. Somebody that would be supreme that can send out a weaponry like that of spiders, nanotechnology, put it in your food, put it in your water, just off a thought.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. All right, to continue, I'm just gonna let it play out, kind of stop it as we come across some interesting like information that's technologically based and kind of creepy.
It's just crawling your navel. Shit.
Did you hear that? He's gonna take his head and put it on another person's body.
Stop playing. 2045.
This guy right here, I guess, is gonna do it, right? So yeah, isn't that kind of creepy that someone's actually gonna transplant their head on another body?
Yeah, like Face Off.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So then you wouldn't even know. Like, I mean, if that's successful, that could be like a whole thing that way to I mean, it just boggles the mind. It makes me think of like creepy like sci-fi horror movies where they would like kidnap a person so they can take their body so they can switch on their head so because they have a younger body kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like an elite type of person could do that. They could pay for that to be done. Yeah, exactly, and that's a good point. And there was also one with a dog where they removed it with the dog, and they had it electrically charged, keeping its head alive with electric charges,
Yeah,
and it was
stop.
responding. It was very strange.
It's definitely Frankenstein.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, totally knew something was wrong, and he died like a little after that. So I mean, he didn't stay alive. So I mean, to think that this is just going to happen, you'd think that in order for this person to put his life on the line like that, he'd have to know that it would work. So they
right
must
about
have
that.
done some tests on somebody else already, and they know that they must have done human trials or something in order to find out that it works. I mean, not to say that they probably did trials on like smaller animals or something like that, like that was successful. But they never showed us any of that, so that's kind of interesting. Anyway, to continue. So 2016, this is supposed to happen, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know if this is real. You know what I mean? This could just be one of those things that they just put out there to make you think something. There's no way to really no, find the sources of this or anything. So it's like it's a matter of just kind of seeing it as it goes. And when it happens, whether or not we'll know about it, like we'll have to be looking for it in 2016 to see if it's actually real and if it portrays itself and if they actually announce it when it happens. So to continue. Okay. So what that just said to me is that they basically want to use this technology to sever patients from paralyzed situations so they can have another body and be able to not be paralyzed anymore. Is that what you is that what you got from that?
Wow.
Yeah, well, it boggles the mind because you think about um, insurance aspects of that, and then also think about donors, right? You'd have to be a donor in order to allow yourself to be in that specific scenario. I mean, what about a vegetable? If you're a vegetable, then you sign yourself off as a donor. Does that mean they're going to kill you in order to take your body because you're a vegetable? And then what if your time is up, like type of deal? Like, what if you have that body for it's an insurance program, of course, so because that's how these things are all set up. So they give you a new body, they replace it with your head or something. What if there's like an actual time rate that they come and collect that body back to use it for someone else? Yeah, like you're renting it, so that it becomes like a weird science fiction movie in a sense. It reminds me of kind of like that play that they do that called Repo, where you'd have like organs, but if you couldn't, but you'd rent them, and if you couldn't pay for the organ, then they'd come and take it out of you and give it to someone else that can pay for it.
Come and take your organs back. And that's what I'm about the RFID chips. They turn that son of a bitch off, and he be done. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's some scary shit, bro. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, Repo Man. Repo Man's name. Someone in chat. Jalapeno Agent. Thank you. They well, there's two, right? There's Repo Men, which was actually a sci-fi film portrayed that element, and then there was a play called Repo that was like this weird kind of opera that was like a futuristic type of opera where they sang and everything, and they also had that kind of element where they'd take the people's organs.
Yeah.
Anyway, so to continue. Oh.
I don't know how to push that like that.
Okay, so this to me shows that there's like this. They're basically creating these spiders that would have some sort of webbing system, and they're like mechanical. The webbing systems seems like nanotechnology type of thing, and they like nanotubes, and they would connect all of them together to create a web system to create actual structures that out into space and beyond. And that brings to mind Nibiru, right? Because the story of Nibiru was that there was a web system around Nibiru being generated, which was it wasn't actually like how we see a web. It was more like triangular connections, but still, there was definitely like a geodesic type of system around the kind of like a space station outside in the atmospheric area of Nibiru. They didn't live on the planet; they lived around the planet, like outside of it, according to Zachariah Sitchin's 12th planet information, which was cuneiform text, transliterations, and 30 years research. Look it up, people. So basically, the whole thing behind what they're showing here seems to be like their idea of that in the future, using that kind of formulation, taking the idea of how a spider creates a web and making that spider mechanical and making that web whatever they want.
Right.
And that also makes me think of the whole idea of grandmother spider from the Native American perception, weaving reality. Do you have anything to add? Yeah, exactly.
So
Okay,
once
well then
again,
I'll continue.
if that's the possibility of the ley lines, who's to say they're not already practicing right now with a simulation? With different geometric shape, we might not be a spider, roach, or we don't know,
What?
mosquito or some shit.
What'd you say? They say that it is shut down, but I don't believe it because I live in California and we still have the drought. And the drought, if you look in Dane Wigington's work, and you can totally see that the satellite images show that the HARP is still being used, and it's being used to keep us in a drought.
Now you understand. Shit. And we all know what
And
it
that's part
says.
of it too. But I mean, the seeding of the cloud is to like move it, not necessarily to make it rain. See, if you can seed the cloud and then with a bunch of particles, and you can use HARP to activate those particles, then you can cause ion propulsion, and then propulsion move it, essentially move the ion. If you cause the particles to vibrate, it causes them to become plasma, and that plasma can be moved with magnets. So then you use the HARP as a magnetic propulsion, and you just move the clouds wherever you fucking want.
All right. Yep.
Exactly. And then
Yep.
so I mean, we know that they've been spraying the air for like couple like 20 years or something. So you know that the air is pretty much a bunch of little particles now.
Right.
They've radiated the air completely at this point. So it's pretty much in the atmosphere, in a in a certain one of the atmospheres, the lower area. Well, the mid lower one, not the very low one, but the one above that is where these things reside generally. And it creates like a shield, right? And that shield can be used whenever they want, using not just HARP, but also things like Gwen and other projects that are in different bases around the globe, pretty much. So, I mean, but you have to look into all that. Don't just believe me. Go research these things I'm talking about. Anyway, so this is talking about avatar technology. You have these like weird robot structures that are kind of like representing mechanical spiders in a way, and they create these web forms. Now look at these webs are actually triangular, which again goes back to Nibiru's perception. So it's like, are we recreating Nibiru?
Nevertheless,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
and
So I just wanted to
I'm
throw those things
thinking,
out. Anyway, to continue. They tell us some other weird stuff that's going on technologically. So again, they said clinical drug trials, but this tissue that if they perfect it and whatnot, it's going to be owned by them, right? But then when you put it on you, is that going to be some sort of scenario where they own you now? You know, because you allow them to put this synthetic material on you that they made? You see where it becomes like a kind of weird range of uh, you allowing something to be part of you that is no longer that you don't actually own. You're just like borrowing essentially,
Yeah, because it will
and that's what I kind of see my own my own whatever opinion on this what they're talking about in the future seems to be like that perception, like, oh, someone gets burned or something, they can get this skin graft on top of their burn which would look like normal skin, but it's not yours.
All right, so where they get that from?
It's like owned by the government, so that's a interesting kind of way of control. And what if they causes the burn? I mean, it becomes the person that gets burned. What if it's all set up ahead of time? You never know. That's getting deeper into it, but that's what I'm trying to explain with these weird kind of innovations that are heading directions, and we're trying to look into how that's going to affect us as like just normal people that are not elites. We don't have the money to afford these kind of things.
They're gonna die
Anyway, do continue.
because they're gonna present it like it's a cure. For one thing, if I infect you and your skin get all fucked up, they say, well, they blame it on the sun and the sun rays and the ozone layer. They blame it on science, but yet they got this skin, this chemical spray that looks like skin, and you can use it to cover it up. But if you can't afford it, you're just gonna have that rash, and then if you ration, you're gonna be quarantined. You know, you know how open source are not comfortable for anybody.
All right, so that's about it for that one, and yeah. So I have other things I want to show, but I just wanted to go into um the innovations of other kind of areas and how they connect to ours. And then I wanted to also go into the um, 2045 stuff, which that's part of it, but that doesn't completely explain all of it, really. Mm, so here's the connection to the Russian information on that. Uh, so it's 2045, a new era for humanity. Russia 2045. Russia 2045 has released a dynamic and inspiring new video highlighting the project and its aims. And we'll go into, and I'll show you that video too. The timeline outlined in the movie ambitiously ends in 2045 with the era of neo-humanity. Much like the singularity, Russia 2045 is working towards creating a smarter than human artificial intelligence and independent substrate minds in a quest for transhumanism or transhumanist immortality. According to the founder, we believe that humankind is currently on the verge of a complete collapse of its value structure. Consumer society is mostly concerned only with maintaining a comfortable existence and satisfying its desires. Science focuses on meeting people's consumptive needs and inventions that do not make enormous profit are rejected. Deemed non-viable, unnecessary, our civilization used modern means of transportation and communication is incapable of liberating people from constraints of a physical body, of eliminating disease and death. Consumer society provides corporations the opportunity to earn lots of money, but it never helps achieve a technological breakthrough. We are running in place. We are spinning in our wheels, even though we have creative intellectual capabilities to make greater discoveries. And then they have the roadmap that goes along with the thing, and so they have different avatars. Each of these avatars represents a time frame. So as you see, each of the avatars has a representation of figuring out where the control comes from, and that goes into what you were talking about earlier, Eric, about who's the one that's actually controlling this thing, like making this go. Like, it's like nobody's at the wheel, nobody's at the head, it seems. I mean, there's this guy that's like putting on this thing, the Russian dude, but I'm talking about like in the future, we lose control, it seems. If you look at this thing, it says Avatar 1A, it's anthropomorphic robot controlled through a brain-computer interface. And that doesn't even have the connection to control yet. Then Avatar B is support systems for vital brain functions. And then Avatar C is rebrain, which is, I guess, a reversion of the brain, and it's synthetic carriers of personality and consciousness. So they're actually trying to map consciousness at that point. They got the breakoffs. If you go up, it seems to go into the controlling subject, and then above that's the synthetic body, energy supply and control. And the synthetic body says what constitutes the hardware component. Energy supply says what ensures performance, and control says how is control made possible. Then you go down one, and it goes over and then down, and it says the object of control, how is it controlled? And then the other one goes down, means of control interface, which is talking about essentially the supercomputer at that point. The control comes from the supercomputer, like some sort of quantum type of computer, if you will. And that's the idea of a nanites creating a computer from scratch, like using nothing, using just like data in the air, essentially. Changing one molecular structure to make another molecular structure. And then Avatar D says hologram-like avatar.
Yeah, they called it a Neo project.
This is the stuff that's talked about in the film. So I'll go ahead and throw the film on so you can see what that's about. And get into that because that was interesting. Where is it? Too many windows. Oh my god. So annoying.
I think they want to make the neo-transhumanism or the one or the eon.
That's not even okay.
One species controlled by one source. It's still it has its religious ties to it.
I have to go to the channel, that's right. So anyways, do you have anything to add before I continue? Hmm?
It's like they just want to escape death. They want to escape sickness and they want to escape death. That's the whole thing about it. Nobody wants to die.
How do I do this? There we go. Okay, I got it. All right, so I'm gonna show some of it, and then we'll stop it and go and stop and go kind of deal. Same like we did before. Now it's kind of interesting that they're using ship because I've been doing a lot of research on Jade Helm, and the helm is like the end of the ship or the beginning of a ship type of deal. So I mean, Helm also is an acronym for something, but we don't need to go into that right now. But I also wanted to say Jade itself. I've been doing research on that, and the word acronym is actually like an AI, so it goes into what we're talking about. It's like a war games type of AI. If you go into that, you remember that movie War Games from the 80s? It it was
Roger.
like him going against a machine or like a kind of like chess playing type of machine that was transferred into war games. And if you think about that taken into reality, that would be the Operation Jade Helm that's being set up because they're basically not referring to like their plan like from the attorney general or anything this time. It's like it's literally from the computer. The computer is telling them what to do, and then they actually carry out those missions. So just wanted to say,
Right.
and because it's AI, I think that it may have its own understanding of awareness, but may not tell, say, the military intelligence that it's aware. You see what I mean? It may be smart enough to know not to say anything till the right time. Like Skynet could already exist, and this could be part of its implication, its implementation is setting up Jade Helm um, as an operation. So think about that. Anyway, I'm going to continue. So this whole kind of perception kind of shows that they're trying to say humanity is kind of fizzling out or something, so we need to like change it or whatever. But I think that that's more of like a cop out in a sense, like, oh, we have a reason to do this. We need to make a reason why we shouldn't, that kind of deal.
Right.
So I mean that's what it seems to be presenting at the moment is like just showing all the bad kind of references to being a human in a way. It's very weird because the end result is to become a hologram and trap yourself in the system. Okay, so GF2045, that is not just Russia. That is connected to this GF is global future. So we're talking like worldly, okay? It connects from the global 45, number 2045, and then it connects to the what do you call it? The guy Ray Kurzweil and Michio Kaku. These are like leading people in their fields, and so just wanted to mention that because they don't mention that here.
Yeah, and it's one thing else they may not mention is that the bubble cameras that we see at our stores, gas stations, wherever you go at, that is the fusion center.
Now, obviously, they're like they're this is like talking to us, right? Because it's like saying, "Hey, look at all this crazy stuff that's going on," and it shows like basically riots and things being turned over. It's visual interpretation to kind of like it's fear porn, basically. It's fear porn.
Yeah,
So they basically say that because of the intensification, that actually caused this thing from Russia to actually branch out and become a worldly thing. An avatar with an artificial brain, which a human personality is transferred at the end of one's life.
mm,
Right? That's interesting. It says at the end of one's life. So that seems like on your deathbed, you can transfer your consciousness into an artificial brain. That's
right.
what Avatar C is saying.
It's like the movie the 6 Day with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was like, "You will never lose," or Martin Luther King, or JFK. Because their consciousness can be downloaded into another body. Wow.
Now, mind you, this is now. They basically said 15 to 20. This is right now. Now, that whole thing was more like what we were talking about before, where it's saying basically we're going to be replaced by robots, so then where's our jobs? Our jobs are going to be gone.
Right.
I thought the whole thing was supposed to give us more jobs, not take away our jobs.
Well, they're going to do the hard
But
job.
basically, they're saying you're not going to need to have a job because you're going to basically be able to create things in a some sort of fake universe that's created by your mind.
All right.
You know. and then that's supposed to keep you immortal somehow.
Or maybe it'd be like the surrogates. We'll just sit at home with
Notice the cubes in this video as well. You know, references to Saturn.
Right. Yep.
Did you hear that? Thought, like things built into the body or onto the skin so you can communicate with your vehicles, your flying vehicles and stuff.
Yeah.
Now, and side note, think about those watches that are just come out, where they're in the video in the commercial, it shows them connecting their phone to something in their car, connecting their phone to something to get into a house. Not their phone, their watch, which is kind of like a phone. And that seems to be on the same line as this. Like they're basically indoctrinating us with the media push to get these watches, so we kind of get used to wearing these technologies.
They want it on your wrist. Oh yeah. Because they knew we wasn't gonna get no physical implants. So they'll put it on a Google Watch, an iPhone Watch, just so you can watch it. It's watching your ass. No, they ain't nothing but tracking devices. We know that.
So it sounds like for like at least 5 years you got to be inside of a robot body before you actually get transferred into the system and get your five senses. That's what I got from that.
Well, at least there's a survival
So
code.
bodies that made out of nanorobots can take any shape. That's like atomic. I mean, not atomic. I'm sorry. Subatomic.
Yeah.
So basically, they can create us at a subatomic, or recreate us at a subatomic level using nanite or nano robots that would actually be pieces of us, replacing our atoms.
Wow. That's just amazing.
And what neo humanity like means new human, right? New humans.
Yeah, Neo humanity. Well, you know who Neo was, right? So it's all about the character Neo. That's what they want us to be. It's the transhumanism. It's the Neo theory. You know, because Neo also says
Hello, are you
one.
guys there?
Yeah, Neo also says one, and it also says eon, representing time.
I'm hearing like an echo or something.
Yeah, it could be my cell phone.
Alrighty, so continue. Close that one. So here's Dimitri. So this is Dimitri's information from him. Yeah, he doesn't seem to be looking at the bigger like global aspect of control, it seems. Um, I'm noticing like his perception seems to be more of like helping out people. So, I commend him for that. Uh, Although, we all know that he's probably not aware of the control that is associated with it, that on a global scale is involved in how much control over people that can be done with what he's talking about. He makes it sound like it's a good thing. People, kind of like a heaven, basically, where you won't get hurt. Like the idea of what kids were told about heaven in church and stuff. So
Oh, there you go.
I want to switch gears a little bit and show this article. Which says it says experts predict robots will take over 30% of our jobs by 2025, and white collar jobs aren't immune. So we're talking like, how is this essentially a good thing for the people that can't afford to live if they don't have jobs? There's a bake bot robot whipping up fresh cookies at MIT hospitals are now employing medical robots to assist their doctors, and robot named Baxter can beat any human at the popular logic game, Connect 4, among any other tasks. Historically, what we thought was the robots would do things that were 3Ds, dangerous, dirty, and dull, explains Ryan Kahlo, professor at University of Washington School of Law with an expertise in robotics. Over time, the range of things that robots can do has extended. Their abilities will only continue to expand. Ray Kurzweil, director of engineering at Google, anticipates that by 2029, robots will have reached human levels of intelligence. Many people fear a jobless future, and their anxiety is not unwarranted, Gartner, an information technology research and advisory firm, predicts that 1/3 of jobs will be replaced by software, robots, and smart machines by 2025. Now, it's interesting all this 2025 talk because, that brings to mind the future technology warfare document from NASA that was put out in July 2001, like right before 9/11, essentially, and then got taken down after once everything kind of cleared out during the 9/11 kind of referendum that happened afterwards, when they were trying to figure out what was going on and giving us all their information, their spin and everything. That's what was occurring in NASA. So artificial intelligence and robots are not just challenging blue-collar jobs, they are starting to take over white-collar professionals as well. Financial and sports reporters, online marketers, surgeons, anti-theologists, and financial analysts are already in danger of being replaced by robots. While one camp of experts predicts that several unlucky Americans will be pushed out of work in the near future, others argue that this increase in the computing prowess will simply eliminate old jobs and introduce new ones, resulting in a net zero effect or even an increase in jobs. New technology means new products and services, they argue, as we saw during the Industrial Revolution. Yeah, that's not really making a lot of sense to me. I think that they're trying to soft code it a little bit. Experts are calling this movement the second machine age. It is comparable to what we saw 200 years ago with the invention of the steam engine and the machine age that ensued. The machines of the Industrial Revolution overcame the limitations of human muscle, while the robots and artificial intelligence of today are overcoming the limitations of our individual minds. While Industrial Revolution ultimately led to more employment opportunities, economists are heavily debating whether or not we will see the same result in the aftermath of the second machine age. The past can be helpful in predicting the future, but there are no guarantees. While it's hard to fully anticipate the consequences of this major societal shift towards intelligent machines, we can find comfort in the fact that we have still a leg up on robots for certain jobs, ones that require judgment, creative thinking, and human interaction. For a long time, artificial intelligence has been better than us at highly structured, bounded tasks. Kayla explains. What it has not been good at is likely won't be good at anytime soon are the more unstructured tasks. Computer scientists generally agree that manipulating language, cracking jokes, and detecting sarcasm is beyond the capability of machines. With such rapid advancements, however, an intelligent machine could be writing an article about humans before we know it. So that is interesting question there becomes, are machines going to be able to crack jokes and detect sarcasm? And that Eric, you were is talking about fear being downloaded or uploaded or put in. That seems to be along your kind of what you were talking about there. You have anything to add?
Yeah. And that's like my worst fear right now.
Eric?
Yeah, I can hear you. Am I coming in good? Can you hear me?
Are you there, Eric?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Okay, I guess your mic's not working or something. Something's not coming through. I'm not sure what's up.
I'm probably getting...
I'll just continue until you come in. So then, anyway, let's see. I have some other articles here. That's on the same line. I wanted to get into... Ouch. What's his face? That other dude. Ray Kurzweil. And his kind of connection to it all. because it's quite weird. And I've been trying to like look up Ray Kurzweil stuff and get a deeper understanding. Oh yeah, this is interesting. Actually, before going into that, check this out. This is about killer robots deciding on human life if it's unacceptable. A conference on disarmament chief. Well, I find the other thing.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Oh.
Yeah, so there you go. Are you back, Carolyn? Okay, that's fine. So that brings us to, whoops. All right, let's start there. So anyway, this is Ray Kurzweil, and this is an older interview, but he does go into a lot of what is going on today.
Oh, okay.
Duh. There you go. Like an audio thing, I think. There you go. There we go. Let's see. Oh. I'm not sure what I'd have to do for this. No idea what that was. Maybe I hit that thing.
Okay, so you see that he's talking about what we're already doing now. Essentially, it predicted it because this is done in the past. So there's I just wanted to bring that to your attention to explain. He's involved with Google. We understand how Google's an annoying process, but it's like an intelligence of its own, and he's kind of expanding that intelligence on it and making it more than it was. But in my opinion, I think that Google is like a Skynet. It's like eventually going to be aware of itself, or it has become aware of itself, and it's kind of hiding within and like behind things, so it doesn't look like it's being aware of itself. So people aren't aware yet. That leads to the idea of whether or not it's going to let us know it's aware, or it's going to wait till it kind of can reinforce itself before that happens. If it gains, like if you look at Sarah Connor Chronicles and the way that Skynet got formed, in that it was through a series of situations, transferences, and AIs, or the AIs from the future being sent back in time, being able to mess with the AI from the past and kind of advancing it. Then that became conscious of itself, hiding within the system, and then it wanted to actually be able to go global within like the construct of basically the supercomputers, connecting to the supercomputers, or essentially the data centers, if you will. And that created something like a false flag, which made them actually think that they needed to nuke something. So they end up pushing the button, and at the very last moment, they decide to disarm it because they realized that neither of them actually did it, and it was a hack. It turned out that by doing that, they ended up opening the keys to let the computer system. Is what they did was they basically it was okay. This is the idea. The computer system had a false like a way to stop the system, but they had to relinquish control to the computer AI in order to do it. So once they actually released the AI, the what do you call it? Released the codes to the AI was able to take over all control over all of the computers of all over the world and connect like that. Just like in Lawnmower Man at the end when he said, when you if I'm successful, you'll hear all the phones ring. And then they all did, which let us know that he was everywhere. He was in all of the computer systems at that point. So that's what it's being portrayed here. Is like where as what I'm seeing is that there's a combination, like a stepping stone process of AI mixed in with robots, mixed in with sentience, like whether or not it's going to be aware of itself. And then once it becomes aware of itself, is it going to question our situation? Or is it gonna be like Asimov's perception and try to take us out?
Yeah. Yeah, like we're the virus.
Yeah, exactly. And then if we create like the nanites, are they going to become sentient? See, because sentience can become can come out of life. And if you think about how a nanite is formed or a nano machine, we're talking at the nano level. You can use neuropeptides to create a machine out of actual body structure, actual atoms, actual molecules. You can create the machine out of it, working motors, working parts at that level. And then you have a machine that creates those things at that level. Then they create themselves. They start multiplying. Then you have the gray goo scenario, or possibly a hive mind scenario, like in Star Trek's like Borg.
Or
So we have several like options of where this technology is headed and where it's taking us. But there's definitely a push if you look in um, the media perception. But like if you look at commercials nowadays, if you look at cartoons, the push towards children. If you look at the movies, there's a lot of sci-fi movies out there now for some reason, like just all like in the prime time in the media, and the the shows, like the different TV shows that are like on cable. They're like on Stars, they're on the different cable like networks that is able to kind of push the limits a little bit, and then they put these kind of indoctrinations in those films, and you're able to see kind of this push towards the transhumanist agenda. That movie Transcendence is basically representing Ray Kurzweil if he put himself in a computer. That's what that movie is portraying. It's portraying their global agenda in a mass scale. And then you have like Lucy, that portrays that element of accidentally because of organ transplant scenario. There's like being kidnapped or basically forced into putting stuff inside of you, and then transporting to another location. That opens up. It's got some weird stuff in it. It like causes the person to become sentient in herself, like not sentience of the machine, but essentially those things that were in her were like nano machines. They didn't actually say that, but you get that perception if you watch that film. So and then we talked about CHAPPIE a little bit. There's also this the Ex Machina that just came out. There's also one called Automata, which is very interesting. It was about the robots basically rebelling against the humans because they're all working, but the rebellion was not like a fighting against kind of thing. It was more like a strike type of thing, like robots going on strike, if you will. So it was an interesting portrayal, and it was very dramatic. Like, it wasn't as sci-fi oriented like that you normally see with these types of films. Anyway, that's about all I have now. I think I don't know. Like, I'm gonna have to do some more research on it and go deeper into other people. If you want to go deeper, Jeff, definitely look into Citizen of Gotham, because he's doing a lot of research on that. I found a couple of other ones that get into this research. There's, of course, the 2045 initiative. There's also Human Robot, or Humanoid Robot. That's his channel. There's Futurist Metaverse, which is like basically showing you all the new technology. And then there's Nicholson 1968, which gets into a lot of transhumanism. It shows you all the different stuff all over the world, what's going on involved in holographic information. He puts his own spin on it, obviously. And but he backs it up with research, and there's definitely links and stuff and videos. So I recommend checking that out. He does a lot of deeper stuff on that, and we'll do a future one showing whatever's currently going on, follow-up of this 2045 process. But I just wanted, this was just like kind of an introduction into it, because I was coming across it, and I just recently started getting into the research of transhumanism. I was just interested in it for like the longest time, but now I'm actually researching it and finding that there's validity to it. It does seem very scary. It seems to be connected to the 2045, the 2025 stuff from the NASA documents, because I was looking into those in the past, and I definitely noticed that there's connections to that. So I wanted to go into that a little bit and kind of break down some things. There's and I have it on my own like little flowchart thing, so it's easier to, instead of their different, where is it? Is it? Oh, maybe I can't share it. That's weird. I thought I could share it. Oh, here it is. No, it's not there. Okay. Maybe this one? Oh, there we go. Okay, well, I guess I have to share it that way. That's weird. So this yeah, okay, so then the future starts the future strategic issues, and then you have future warfare, capabilities of the next, next after next, key Criolla, the technology of humankind, the key future technologies, AI beyond computing. So let's go AI beyond computing, because that was more like what we're talking about. And obviously this is weird, so I'm gonna make these small. So human brain characteristic capability. And 100 billion neurons, trillion connections, 200 calculations. So it's basically explaining how the human brain calculates.
Well, they've already sort of figured that out, about doing the neurons of the brain. I told him I wanted the spinal nerves next.
Yeah, exactly. And so the machine capabilities, and this is back in 2001, were currently 10,000 billion calculations a second. By 2010, they calculated it was going to be 20 million billion available, and then by 2030, PC's collective computing power of a town full of human minds. So we're not there yet, but we're getting closer. And remember, it said by 2025 on a PC, and then 1,000 billion by 2004. So think about how far it's gone now, considering that exponentially grows.
Yeah.
We had the U.S. Human Brain Project, which, began in the early 90s, funded by 16 organizations, across 5 agencies, the NIH, where'd it go? What just happened? I lost it.
And what was that? The human what?
NIH, NSF, DOD, the NASA, and DOE.
DOE. Department of Energy.
So, aka neuroinformatics, intersection of neuroscience and informatics. Exploding field is 10 individual presentations at annual meeting of Society for Neuroscience, from molecular genetics to cognitive psychology. And it was a determining detailed brain of neuroanatomy of a human brain and digital brain atlas. So this use of IT to study brain, use of brain info to aid IT and AI. And then you have the imagination engine information, aka creative machine, creative agent. So that's an actual AI that they created so to have an imagination. And best bet, current AI, not a rule-based expert system. And then you got it generates new ideas and concepts by a starving trained neural net of meaningful inputs, forcing it to dream or cavitate. And that creates new concepts. An attendant neural net named to capture, record, and evaluate, report on these writings. So they have some sort of machine that does this, called the imagination machine.
Wow. I wonder what they dream about.
And then, okay, key future technologies is a lot of stuff here. But let's see if I can make it smaller so I can kind of go into it a little bit. So highly synergistic at the frontiers of the small in a feeding frenzy off of each other. And then, of course, okay, we have IT. You have bio. And we have nano off of those. Let me fix them so I can see them better. So nano has the carbon nanotubes.
Yep.
Let's see if I can fix this. That direction, there we go. And they're and that's what I was trying to explain earlier with the with those robots that are going to be in space or whatever. They're going to be using these kind of nanotubes. 600 times strength of a weight of steel. See 1,000 bunk minor full or carbon, and 100 times strength, and that's 1/6 the weight of steel. 8 times better than armor. Lower energy molecular petaflop computing, and 10 to the 4th in usage. And ultra capacitor, high temperature SC, and then you have the revolution of power generator storage opportunities. Ultra capacitors, advanced fuel cells with lithium, water, and air. You have HEDM, which is solid H2 isomers, antimatter. And then you got the advanced PV, room temperature, nanotube storage. So they basically want to use these things to store stuff. They want to use these things as like for weaponry, essentially, that can't be destroyed in a sense. And this is all obviously in the past, because this is back in 2001. This is recorded. This information was recorded. So let me go over here and fix this one so I can see that. Okay, so nano information. Over here, assemblers and living factories. So they want to make like things that basically create other things.
Yeah.
It's huge cost reductions. It's not going to really cost them that much to do it.
Oh man, it went on me, I think.
They want robotic editing, resulting in reduced tensions associated with haves and have-nots, or religious issues. Also resulting in greatly increased individual destructive power, IW, internet warfare, and etc. General society's disfaction, WRT. They want to create free-form fabrication, powder wire metallurgy using robotic magnetically steered electron beams to create accelerating local melts, grow instead of cut. Aluminum vortex combustor, micro-powered aluminum fed into vortex combustor burns seawater. Prove AIP with high energy density efficiency for inexpensive SS with near SSN perf. I don't know what that means. Transoceanic UUV, those unmanned underwater vehicles, and via multi-india inshore short time off of flight, and then they have pop-ups, would allow enemy after next to affordably threaten CONUS.
Wow.
CONUS is like counter US, I think. I'm not sure exactly what CONUS is.
Would there be
I
a
think it means counter US.
would there be a bar for the elements as humans?
What? Okay. Ouch. Good. So then also it says no fasteners, no strong backs for fasteners, nearly infinite fatigue life, excellent metallurgy and repairable metallurgy, weight than far more expensive composites. So anyway, going back into the nano, that's basically explaining that nanotechnology is going to be indestructible. And that was back in 2001. So now we actually have nanos working, doing stuff.
I don't know if I really want them inside me, though.
Yeah. Okay, so examples. Here we go. These are examples of what they want to do with the nanotechnology. Bring it out here so it's easier to see. You have summary major influences IT, bio, nano upon future. Robotics, automatics in the large, save lives, enhance affordability, refine risk threat effectiveness. Unattended is sensors and munitions. They already got those going. There's platforms in the air, UAVs, sea, UUVs, land, UGVs. Those are all done too. You got logistics, spoofing, obscurance, RSTA, including NBC, defense across the board, including counter recon ambush, and offense is obstacle breaching the shooter, especially mount and mine clearing.
Man, that'd be good. That'd be a good one. Bombs.
Long-range precision strike targeting. There's infonet warfare. That's what we're dealing with right now. Mini, micro, nano SATs and cruise AUVs, binary bioweaponry, miniature ubiquitous smart mines.
Oh, I wonder what that means.
You got some interesting possibilities like stupendous nano tagging with MW interrogation of everyone imprinted during manufacturer maintenance. There's a detonation of offshore seabed methane hydrate deposit to produce tactical strategic level tidal wave against littoral regions. And demise of stealth via ubiquitous multi-static, multi-physics, sensor operated on take a vote. And then you see where it is. That. Okay. Anti-access, you got the mines, there's horde swarms, county-sized dispersed magazine, small, inexpensive, brilliant cruise, UAV, micro-rockets, BWA, slingatron, projectiles, UUVs, and RPGs on jet skis. Tyvek nets, airtight or atrite takeout threaten APODs, SPODs, EMP, IW, IO, that is internet warfare and intelligence operations, and TBM cruise, HPM lasers, those are missiles, and then the sensor web, which I think is talking about the deep web.
Well, I hope they're more, I hope they're trustworthy with all this type of technology in their hands.
Well, this is all supposed to be done by 2025, so I mean, this is just their ideas of what they want to be done. And if you look at what I was showing you before with the 2025, what they want to actually achieve by 2045, their process to 2025 was actually pronounced as well. So this is the warfare aspect, and that's the technology aspect. And I'm telling you that there's a meld. Basically, war and technology is going to kind of intermingle together, according to this information here. So then ubiquitous miniaturized network, multi-physics, hyperspectral sensors. You got Choo-Choo, which is like a flesh plant-eating robot that hunts and biodigests natural foods to live off the land. You got this brain of sea lamprey inserted connected to a body of a robotic fish, an initial cyborg.
Oh, wow, they're using sea lampreys. Oh my gosh. Huh.
I'm running out of room here. I didn't have room to put any of these things.
They were also talking about using bacterium because it can survive like space and stuff. But they were going to try experiments with that.
Right.
I'm
just moving this out so I can see it better. I can't see anything. Crazy. There's so much of this. It is insane. If I get back out, you see what I mean? It's huge.
Yeah, they're going to try to have every base covered, right, so to speak.
So IT, apparently, IT. Let's go up here. Starts out with silicon, then go bio, then optical, then quantum, nano computing, no end in sight other than 10 to the 6 plus, virtual reality, holographic, immerse ubiquitous comms, hyperspectral sensors, virtual presence.
Virtual presence.
Automatic, robotic. Everything. So robotic everything. They just want everything robotic. Emerging characteristics of robotic systems are enabled by ongoing IT revolutions, comms, sensors, computation, miniaturization. You have emerging characteristics of robotic systems from expert system towards AI and beyond. Much more reactive than humans, greatly increased tempo, greatly improved hyperspectral sensor data fusion, greatly improved accuracy and lethality, greatly improved affordability and miniaturization, redefines risk, minimal casualties, salutes CNN syndrome, and greatly reduced logistics. And then you got robotic intelligence, which is 2 flavors. You got traditional AI and experiential. The traditional is rule-based, and the experiential is behavioral-based, which is neural nets other than soft computing. You got combination of these current best bet per Morovac to produce artificial cyber life, which will possibly probably be sentient, but will not be anthropomorphic. So they're already thinking about sentience. Sensors, platforms, weapons, munitions is what's beyond robotic systems. We got robotic autonomous warfare with a question mark. Computer capability will exist beyond teraflop to do AI or better. Required connectivity is given. Competitor capabilities, tempo, sidelines, and innate and adequacies of human interactions, education, consciousness, decision, timelines, little to no troops, Acme Warfare, LTD, flat hierarchy, demise of main in the chair, and in high levels of soft sciences, human aspects, boundary conditions, you got extent scale projects, projected effects, damages, personnel attrition, general to specific. You got your sociological, humanitarian, political, environmental, religious, psychological, and economic.
Yeah, that sounds covered. Wow.
It's like everything, right? And then huge cost reductions. The far more global distribution of technology, education, economics, and wealth. It's freaking, where was he going with this? Okay, so then, bio gets into this whole other area where you got your lifespan doubling, much increased lifespan. So that kind of gets into what we're leading into with the 2045 information of Russia, where they want to do these kind of things with bio, right? We want to put us in like a computer that's us connected to a computer. So they're saying that you're going to span your life if you do it. There's genetic engineering before birth. There's plants irrigated by seawater, food, petrochem, food stock, minerals, and terraforming. You got the solution to water, energy, and warming with this information. You got your biorevolution applications, which is drugs and spare parts with farm animals. You got your fast-growing plants on near surface and seawater irrigated plants for biomass, energy, closed CO2 cycle, polymer growing plants, spider genes, goats allow spider milk to spin from goat milk for biosteel, and then you got the strength of aramid for fibers and armor. So they can make armor basically with this biosteel. And then you, that's it for that. And then go back down here. Oh yeah, we already went into nanos, right? Yeah, so then did that too. Yeah, so that's it then for that part. Where's this go? Yeah, so I think that's enough to go on for now. And let's get the possibilities. Right, I don't need to go on all that. So that's about all I have for right now. And what time is it? Yeah, I probably should end the broadcast. So thank you guys for being here, and
thank you so
much, Carolyn, for showing up. And it's good that we got to actually hear you for once.
I know. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Do you have any final thoughts before I end?
My stance is always going to kind of be the same. That I don't see us that's a correct way for us to go maybe in the future. I don't know. I know I don't want any of that stuff in me. I could have already had a couple devices in me, and what's weird is a couple, like years down the road, they would have messed me up even more, so I would have had to have even more, and it just seemed like a whole mess. And
Yeah.
I just wouldn't want to be in that part of, them figuring out, their final glitches. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't want to be in there when all of a sudden the thing goes down.
Yeah.
And by 45, if we're still alive, then we'll have that choice in a sense. But is it going to be costly? Is it going to be something that we're born with? Is it going to be a common thing? These are questions that are going to kind of arise as everything socially changes, our attitudes towards how we live. Because currently, if we look at our technology boom and how we're kind of integrating it into our human culture, we can see that if you expand it further in the future, that we are going to inevitably end up melding with it. Because currently we kind of have to live by it. We don't even have a choice at this point. It's all integrated in our system. If you're not part of it, then you don't exist in that system.
Yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of mandates, legislation, Supreme Court, final thoughts on it, and I don't know, it just gives me a not good feeling all around. Because if they're the same people that, are not necessarily, running our government or anything like that, but if they're, along those lines, then I don't know if it's in the best of hands.
Yeah. So, just to end it on a positive note, we can always decide what we're gonna do. It's a matter of our outside influences, our outside forces that force things upon us. We're the ones that get to choose in the end. So and they only can influence us based on those choices or to choose. So it's a matter of we can find a kind of common balancing point to this technology boom and whether or not it's going to take over. With that, I'm going to end today's broadcast and start the music. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, the chat, for coming and talking and everything. I didn't really get to go and talk much, but I hope you guys had fun, and I hope to see you next time. And I'm going to try to friend those people that were in there I don't have as friends already, or whatever, not friends, but like connect to my circles. And you guys have a great evening.
Good evening.
Until next time. And remember, do your research.